What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? And today we're going to be doing my first impressions on Hogwarts Legacy after playing for 35 hours. Yes, you've heard that correctly. And there is one thing I do really want to address here and say is, in fact, that you do not have to be a Harry Potter fan to play this game. Yes, you heard me correctly on that. You really don't have to. I believe when it comes to any kind of video games in a matter of perspective or retrospect for any reason at all, is that you don't have to be a fan of something in order to have fun with the game like Hogwarts Legacy. So, like I said, I just want to put this out there. Now, what I really truly love about this game as a whole and in general is, in fact, that, yes, you're not playing as Harry Potter via Daniel Radcliffe, but however, what I really love about this game so far, as I previously explained about, having 35 hours in, I love the world, I love the lore, I love the way how they just did everything so coincidingly, how it just intertwines along with the story and how unique the side quests are, and doing different types of challenges as well. And the challenges are like doing broom flight challenges. You can do other challenges as well, like the Merlin trials. Those are really cool to use, especially if you want to get your inventory upgraded more at maximum as much as possible. So that's a good way of, increasing your maximum inventory space. So, now what I really love about this game as well, I think what it really does amazingly well is, like what I previously explained, is the fact that this game is one of the best open world games I've played. I mean, yes, that's as far as I know, or as far as I'm concerned. I think when it comes to open world games in general, they are overwhelming. I think I mentioned this in many videos back from last year, and I discussed a little bit more about open world games, but I think what makes Hogwarts Legacy so captivating is that you can go to areas in the game that are reminiscent of watching, like the Harry Potter movies in particular, other than, like reading the Harry Potter books. You can visit Hogsmeade, you can travel back through Hogsmeade and Hogwarts. And what I love about Hogwarts itself, the school of witchcraft and wizardry, is that it's not, it's very similar to that of what it looks like in the movies. However, what I will say that they did some different variations. They did some differences. And I think that's another thing why I think Hogwarts Legacy does a really good job of knowing what it wants to do. This game, I feel like, does not have an identity crisis. I think when it comes to open world games in general, I really think that, they have a little bit of an identity crisis. And what I mean by that, it feels the same as always. And, but in Hogwarts Legacy, it might have that little bit of repetition in there. However, it's just the fact that what I love about this game is, well, what it does and what it entails of where you want to go in terms of just exploration, or if it has to do with, like story progression or side quest progression. It does a really good job of knowing where it needs to go. And I think that's what this game really does fantastically well. And I love that. It's a good way of not having, yes, you're having some of that repetition, but at the same time, you will always feel like that you've been there. That you've been there before, but there's always going to be something different into a certain aspect of the concept of the quest itself, whether if it's main story or optional side quest. Now, another thing, what I will mention as well, what I previously found out is, however, I'm playing in Hufflepuff, and what I've noticed about Hufflepuff is that there are quests that are tailored to each type of school of Hogwarts. You have Slytherin, you have Gryffindor, you have Hufflepuff, and then you have Ravenclaw. Each house in this game is going to have their own type of side quests, and some of the side quests will be different from that of each different house within this game. And that's what I've also discovered as well, or what I've also been hearing from from other YouTubers that have been covering this game extensively. And hence the reason why I'm making this video, though, too, because I feel like that, I like making these types of content, and I know what I want to do, and, I'm not really trying to do this to grow, I'm just doing this for fun. So, now, another thing, I love the traversal. I think the traversal is really cool. I really like the fact how they did something so differently from what, other games, especially now you can fly on a broom. I think that's really cool as well. And that's another thing that I think what Hogwarts Legacy does remarkably well in terms of the flight mechanic or the flight movement. However, last night when I was still playing before I had to go to bed, I actually ended up getting the Vivarium, and where you can be able to tame beasts and you can be able to feed them and groom them, and being able to get, their, certain types of things from them, like their hair or their fur or whatnot. And you're going to be able to do that by upgrading your gear or giving it different types of traits by using the loom. The loom is basically, it's going to help you maintain a better efficiency of upgrading your equipment or putting different types of traits on your gear and making more efficient of that of, being able to do the proper spells that you want to use specific for your own type of playstyle. And I think that's what makes Hogwarts Legacy so unique. And I love the spell system in this game. Let's talk about the spell system. Why don't we? I love the spell system. I think the spell system is one of the best I've seen since from, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, which came out 2023, 2022, 2 years ago, basically. And so I think with those two games like this and Kingdoms of Amalur, these two games have a really good, robust way of knowing what it wants to do in terms of the spell usage. And it's like what I was saying about, when you're using the loom and upgrading the traits, not like upgrading your gear to a certain offense or defensive style of your gear that you have on, but it has to do with the traits. You have different types of traits, and they're basically like gemstones. They have different types of traits. For example, you have Kafringo, which is going to be like a fire spell, and then you have, I forgot what that one. It's kind of like a Ripper type of spell in a certain way, to where it's like Shredder. It's like a shredding type of spell, and that's really cool though too. And you will be able to have that spell go through different types of enemies that are more subtly more exposed to it. That's probably the better word for it. So my bad on that. So I think when it comes to the spell system in Hogwarts Legacy, I think, like I said, it just does a good, cool, and unique job of what it wants to do and how it tells and how it shows. And I love the fact that, when you use different types of spells like Flipendo, it's like Leviosa to a certain extent, but basically what it does, it'll be able to put your enemies up high and make them twist and twist and twist in the air, and make them more vulnerable to the attacks that you can do with each type of spells that you can do with your wand. Whether it doesn't matter what house that you're in, whether if it's Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Gryffindor, you are able to provide different types of damage with your wand and with your spells, actually more appropriately than your wand, because you're using the wand to weed these spells out correctly. So, anyways. Now, what I want to do is, I want to talk a little bit more about, a little bit of the open worldness of this game. I think when it comes to the open world of Hogwarts Legacy, it just does, it's so unique, and it feels so different from that of the movies. Obviously, you're going to have different types of interpretations of what a game feels like Hogwarts Legacy versus through the books or the movies. And that's another thing what I really love about this game. It, like I said, it knows what it wants to do, and I think it does it perfectly. Not flawlessly, I would say, but it does it perfectly, and I think that's what makes it. And I think that's what makes this game so cool, and how it just really tips the balance of that level of gameplay aesthetic and what it does with the open world, and how it just coincides with the story structure or the main story, and then venturing off into the side quests. However, another thing what I really love about this game as well is, in fact, there's a lot of collectibles involved. And last night while I was playing this game, I was getting these collectibles called the Demiguises. I actually ended up getting all the Demiguises in Hogwarts, and I got all the Demiguises in Hogsmeade. And in order to get the Alohomora spell, you have to get the first set of the Demiguises to get the second part of the Alohomora. And then once you get all the Demiguises in Hogwarts, or wherever you will find them, you'll get Alohomora 3, and you will be able to achieve to get the Alohomora locks 2 and 3 unlocked by using that specific spell. And it's awesome. And I tried to do it very early in game, but it's like I just want to venture off into this world of this game. I want to venture off. I want to just like go around, loot some stuff, get some better gear. And that's another thing though too. What I love about the gear system, I think it does it really well. I mean, I think when it comes to most RPG games that I have played, you know, like Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla, they have their own unique system. But what Hogwarts Legacy does with its RPG looting system, to me personally, I feel like that this game does it better from Origins. But I think when it came to Origins, yes, you're gonna have different types of rarity, you know, and that's another thing that what Odyssey did, and Origins, not Valhalla. Valhalla didn't really have that. It did, but it just didn't tell very well. But overall, I think that this is this game is one of the most important games of this year of 2023, other than, you know, like the Dead Space remake that came out last month. And I finished that game, and I fell in love with it all over again. It was nostalgia, deja vu all over again, because I loved the original Dead Space games back on the PS3, and I think those games are just fantastic. But I'm just veering off topic. So what I'm saying is that this is basically my first initial impressions, as I said before, of 35 hours of gameplay of Hogwarts Legacy. And what I'm trying to say is that I do highly recommend this game. I really do. And like I said, you do not need to be a fan of the Harry Potter movies or the books themselves to enjoy a game like this. I think when it comes to games in particular, or video games in particular, it's like, if you don't want to like it, then that's your prerogative. That's your right. You want to be able to you want to be able to know what your options are, and I think that's thoroughly important. But overall, like I said, do what you want to do what you have to do. It's all you. And like I said, you know, by all means, do whatever. But anyways, thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciated. I hope everyone really enjoyed this video. And there's one more thing I want to touch on. I love there's a lot of more collectibles in this game. You are able to collect flying books that will be able to fill up your field guide, and you will be able to tame animals in this game by having the vivarium unlocked much earlier, or not earlier, but later in game. So what I'm saying is that get that as soon as possible. So, but anyways, too much further ado, thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to reply back, and if whenever possible. This is Grey Silver Fox. Peace.